Hello, this is Professor Veer Vedratna from Jaipuria Institute of Management, Lucknow. And today I shall be discussing about an approach for internal analysis of the firm. And that approach is value chain approach. In one of the previous sessions, we had talked about another approach which is known as the resource-based view, where the internal competencies of the firms were measured on the VRIO scale to determine whether an organizational competency is a source of sustainable competitive advantage for the firm or not. In today's approach, we shall be using another method that is often used by the companies for analyzing their internal activities and determine whether those internal activities are cost competitive and provide a competitive advantage to the firm. Now, as regards the value chain approach, there are three important characteristics. Number one, this, as I have said, is a method of internal analysis which examines how a firm's activities contribute to the creation of value for customers and competitive advantage. Number two, the value chain approach remains an important cornerstone of internal strategic analysis, helping the firms identify value-creating and cost-driving activities. The value chain model is also the idea that value is added at each stage of the activities of the firms or internal processes of the firms, which can lead to cost advantage or differentiation advantage. Now, as regards the proponents of this approach, the value chain approach was originally propagated by Professor Michael Porter of Harvard Business School in 1985, where he introduced the concept of value chain in the book authored by him, Competitive Advantage, wherein he talked about breaking down a firm's activities into primary and support functions. However, it was in 1776 the idea of division of labor was introduced by Adam Smith, where he talked about how in an organization the different activities can be clubbed together on the basis of similarity, and this may improve upon the efficiency of the firm. In a way, we can say that this idea was a precursor to the modern day value chain analysis. Now, the concept of a value chain, it talks about that there are 9 set of organizational activities. Amongst those 9 set of organizational activities, there are 5 primary activities and there are 4 supporting activities. The 5 primary activities are the ones that are directly responsible for adding value to the customers, whereas the 4 supporting activities are the ones that add on to the improving the efficiency of the primary activities. However, they may not directly contribute to adding value to the customer. Now, if you look at this diagram, you will find that the set of 5 primary activities are the ones which are at the bottom of this arrow. So the first of the primary activities is inbound logistics. The second of the primary activity is operations. The third of the primary activity is outbound logistics. The fourth primary activity is marketing and sales, and the fifth primary activity is after sales service. The 4 supporting activities are firm's infrastructure that may comprise of general management activities of the organization, financial management, legal and planning, corporate planning activities of the organization. The human resource management is again one of the support activities of the organization, where the human resource management may comprise of professional development, employee relations, performance appraisals, recruiting, competitive wages, and training programs. The technology development, which is the third of the support activity, it comprises of integrated supply chain system, real system sales information, and then fourth of the supporting activity, that is procurement, it comprises of real-time inventory, communication with suppliers, purchase supplies, and materials. Now, as I have said, the 5 primary activities are directly responsible for adding value to the customer, whereas the 4 support activities, they comprise of letting these 5 activities be performed in a more efficient manner. And The better synchronization of these activities would result into better margins for the organization. Now let's have a detailed look at what comprises of the primary activities. Inbound logistics is the first of the primary activities, which comprise of number of sub-activities that may comprise of materials handling, warehousing, inventory control, transportation, inspection. In a way, these are the activities which comprise of getting the raw materials from their place to the place of production, where the assembling of the products is taking place or the throughput is taking place. The second of the activity, primary activities operations, comprising of machine operating, assembling, packaging, quality testing and maintenance. Outbound logistics is about taking the finished product to the marketplace or to the channel of intermediation. Now, they may comprise of sub-activities like order processing, warehousing, transportation, and physical distribution. The marketing and sales activities would comprise of all those activities that may comprise of promotional activities like advertising, public relations, direct marketing, personal selling, pricing, and channel management. The after-sales service comprises of installation, training, spare part management, etc. The support activities, as I have said, they comprise of 4 major activities, and each one of these activities having a number of sub-activities. Now, the firm infrastructure, it comprises of general management, planning, finance, legal, investor relations. HRM comprising of recruitment, education, promotions, reward system, performance appraisal, etc. Technology development comprising of research and development, information technology development, process and product development, etc. And procurement comprising of all those activities that may comprise of the procedural part of procuring the raw materials, sub-assemblies, etc. from the suppliers and to the company. Now, how do we use the value chain analysis? There are in fact 3 steps into using the value chain analysis. Now, number 1, it is recommended that the organization may first identify that amongst these 9 activities, out of which 5 there are primary activities and 4 are supporting activities, the organization may first find out what are the different sub-activities that are performed into the organization. Then each one of these sub-activities, the cost of performing these activities is calculated, and the sum of the cost of all these sub-activities would be the cost of performing the different activities, which means that for inbound logistics, we find out what are the different sub-activities performed into inbound logistics, find out the component cost and activity cost, and then add them up to find out the total cost of performing the inbound logistics activities. We similarly perform it for all the 5 primary activities and 4 supporting activities. Next, the organization is recommended to compare the cost of performing these activities by the cost of the key rivals into the marketplace, and depending upon the gap, which means that if the cost of the firm is more than that of the competitor, that particular activity is a value drainer, whereas if the cost of the firm is less than that of the competitor, it is a value driver for the organization. And ultimately, the sustainability of these value drivers and drainers, it determines whether it is a source of competitive advantage for the organization or not. Thank you.